I think putting Lwx on something that isn't going to get, like, isn't going to be able to put himself into rough positions where he isn't able to impact team fights is a very good choice. And once again, another flex pick. We haven't seen this go mostly towards the bot lane from what we've seen so far in competitive play. You have a very dominating 2v2, but we know when it comes to Karma mid as well, something very playable. Karma top is something we've been seeing more of a resurgence in recent years. So FPX not going to show their hands just yet. You would expect the Aphelios to come out once again, but when you have a Thresh, I think it opens up 3 champions, Aphelios, Jinx, and Kog'Maw. But Ultra Prime are happy with the performance Smlz had in the last game.
Yeah, honestly, don't fix what's not broken as they come into, you know, the summer split and this Aphelios kind of combination. Now you can ban away, you know, if you want to ban away supports, you can ban away junglers, you can make that a little bit easier onto that bot side. There's a lot of opportunities here now for Ultra Prime to be able to enable this pick. And again, you know, I'm very, very happy to see them go for that. But for FPX, it's all going to be about catching out that Aphelios. I like the fact that they have the Lee Sin early. It means they can get in behind them and maybe try and distort those team fights.
I just wonder where you go is up now because, right, last game, one of the big things we talked about is that Aphelios loves champions that run into him, kiting back those team fights, getting out the key abilities from FPX to where FPX have made the adaptation this time, right? They have Visual Karma. They don't necessarily need to commit into you. You assume they're going to be playing a more dynamic team composition where they're able to get a lot of damage off onto Aphelios in the front line before Aphelios is able to fight them back. So for Ultra Prime, it's like, hey, you can try to draft to just keep keeping them at arm's length and zoning tools and things along those lines, but FPX don't need to commit. So I think we probably need to see some more engage and pick potential coming out from Ultra Prime's team comp to combo with Thresh and Udyr and find certain advantages that way.
We're still waiting to see what their solo lanes will be. The Aurelia will not be one of them. FPX banning that one away. The Lucian Lilia as well taken off the board as FPX look to take away the Jace. And yeah, the bit of a respect ban here. I like this from the side of FPX, making sure that they don't kind of just get the same run-it-back team fight that they had to go against in the last game, where there's a hell of a lot of poke and pick potential like you mentioned. So see what the side of Ultra Prime want to go for. They're still waiting to know where exactly everything is, so they might just pick their top laner now, as ZS does not need a lot of resources, as we've noticed in the last few games. Has had a fantastic Gnar game 1, even though they lost, and had a great set in game 2. Locked in, give themselves a mid lane counter pick, regardless of what the side of FPX want to swap around.
So I think FPX pushed them into this, right? Because you look at FPX's bans, they banned Jace and Irelia, 2 champions that are very good against Gnar that we typically see. So they wanted to push FPX Ultra Prime to pick the Gnar, and they are now bringing out the Kennen themselves. This is a champion a lot of people have been practicing in solo queue, in scrims. It is one of the historic matchups we've seen into the Gnar as well, where in early laning phase it's a bit 50-50, but Kennen does generally win out in certain trades. And ooh, I'm interested to see what we get last. I assume it's going to be Tien rocking the Rumble in the jungle and us getting Lee Sin solo lane. But we need to remember, we have no idea. Doinb, another one of Doinb's famous champions.
I was gonna say, I would love to see Nuguri onto Kennen, his Kennen, you know, that kind of a setup, you know, a Doinb onto his Rumble, and then Tien onto his Lee Sin. Like, these are all very big champions for them.
Then you also have an 80 jungler with 2 AP soul laners, right? So even then you have like mixed damage and 2v2s. So I think there's definitely a logic for it. And now we're seeing xiaocaobao bring out his Rise. This is one of his go-to picks. You highlighted the Orianna earlier, and Rise being the other one that he was playing quite a bit throughout the last split in the LDL. So you have side pressure coming out for the side of Ultra Prime that they are going to be able to rely on later on. You're going to have this 3-man core sitting in the mid lane, but we need to remember, split pushing ain't what it used to be. I think we all know that by now, so it's a lot more of using your pressure to find roam timings to move first, get vision as a unit, find flanks, and we're going to see if Ultra Prime are going to be able to punish that, because FPX now do not have a composition that necessarily need to commit into the Aphelios.
No, if anything, they're going to look for the flank again, of course, with the Kennen. You can find the pick potential with the Lee Sin. There's a lot of different things you can go for, a lot of AoE, but like you mentioned, do not have to fully commit into the Aphelios if they don't feel like they need to. That could be the big decider here for FPX to try and send them to a 2-0 start to the season. Like I said, they started off against Rogue Warriors, 2-0, 17th place team in spring, not too bad. Now, against the 16th place team in spring, E-Star is now into Ultra Prime. They have to try and and dig deep and get themselves a win. It's going to be on those big carry performances, and it will be on the side of FPX's carries to really kind of drag this game out. But for Up, you've nothing to lose, honestly. You're coming into this saying, like, most people expected you to lose. And if you win, this is even better.
And it's one of those things, right, where if they can pull out this win against FPX, when it comes to, like, fighting for playoff spots, which, yes, we are far away from that. I don't want to start that conversation too early. But any wins that teams can get over, you know, those top 4 from last season are going to be massive later on.
Well, it is going to be Tien with the rumble in the mid, or the jungle, excuse me, with Doinb on this Lee Sin into the mid lane. We'll see how this one all kind of fans out. But one and all watching this on Twitch, YouTube, or just listening to us purely from audio, because you can do that right now if you do it on the Twitch settings. We are jumping into Game 3 of this best of 3 between FunPlus Phoenix and Ultra Prime. It's 1-1. Winner takes all the glory and all the stats that they need to try and push them forward as the Gyos roar. It's going to be, I'm hoping it's going to be a banger. And we get Nuguri on his Kennen skin as well. Is it his Kennen skin? Can't tell.
You know, I'll be honest. I say this every time I'm on broadcast. I don't pay attention to skins.
You don't pay attention
almost
to skins
at
at all.
all.
I only pay attention to them when it's their skin. That's the only time I actually pay attention.
Yeah, and coming into this, right? It'd be nice if we would have seen like an FPX skin comp come out, but you know we're playing to win here.
Fight.
So, oh my, that is a fun one. But coming out of the Rift, right? I kind of want to touch on the Kennen a little bit. I think it's a champion we haven't seen all that much, but we're going to be seeing a lot more of. We need to remember that his W did get buffed in 11.10. The damage got increased and the AP ratio got increased on it. And Kennen's auto attack range actually outranges Mininar early on. Mininar, I think, is 400 range off the top of my head. Kennen's is like 550 or something like that. So gonna do nice in those trades. He did leash, so ZS will at least have prio in this lane early on. But a lot of trades should be Nuguri favored, especially with the Aerie coming out.
See how that matchup goes. It's going to be Ultra Prime having a little bit of push in mid lane. Pretty much to be expected. The Lee Sin into the Ryze. Ryze just becomes a farming machine, as you can see there with all the Qs and Ws he's able to pop down. And you have to be very, very careful, of course, as well of an Udyr just kind of running in at the early levels. So good respect here from Doinb in the early side of this game. ZS is going to try and push in Nuguri as well to try and get pressure onto the Scuttle Crabs, and there shouldn't really be too much action. I said that now because despite there being so much action in the first 3 minutes of the first 2 games, but shouldn't really be too much. It's very difficult to really get a hold of any of these champions, especially this early on.
And it's also going to be interesting to see how FPX navigates the champions they have, right? Because when we talk about Karma Ezreal, it's a lane that we said, hey, you want to poke and do damage, but FPX are going for a gank.
They are. They're going to be able to land the Q, the flash away, the flash in. First blood. Tien gets himself an FPX on the board.
And just FPX being patient with the play. They know xiaocaobao pushing in that wave. Very easy to follow up. Nice by Tien to be confident to follow in with the flash as well. Looks like Ultra Prime wanted to punish, but not going to be able to. Doinb and Tien going to rotate towards the bottom side to secure that Scuttle Crab. And now I expect both teams to back off. Up should know that, hey, FPX's bot lane can move first. We did see Ultra Prime's bot lane hovering over. But as I was saying before, right, you have this bot lane where they have push in. It's double ranged against, you know, a Thresh who I guess kind of range, kind of melee, but you want to be whittling down turret to where you have this winning matchup on the other side. Sure, it does win in isolation, so maybe you just want to give your Kennen vision and play around your bot. But point is, you have 2 points that you're able to play around as Tien with this composition. Heck, 3. We just saw the gank in mid as well, right? We've hit on mixed damage, so Tien has a lot of options with this composition.
Lwx feeling like he needed to proc that W a little bit more than he probably needed to. And it takes a very, very unfavorable trade now into this bot side. You can see now Hacker just slowly making his way now towards this bot side. You can see Chris popping down those mantra Qs to try and just dissuade Smlz and xiaoC. But xiaoC's in a position where he might just go for a flash hook, and FPX's bot lane need to respect that.
Yeah, they don't want to risk Flash Flay into Lantern coming out from him. Ultra Prime still feeling confident they can make it. As you saw on the mini-map, Hacker actually started to go back, but gonna back off in the end. And for FPX, even though you do have like numerous places you can try to find ganks, I like what they're doing of, hey, just put down vision for bot. They're going to be self-sufficient on their own. Again, they can just find push and find poke in their own 2v2 matchup. As long as they don't get flash flayed into the Lantern or hooked with Hacker being there, I actually don't think Ultra Prime's bot lane should be able to find any kills on them. Then it's just about, hey, just keep comboing with Doinb and eventually get to that point where you start looking to rotate and make plays as a mid-jungle unit.
Wait now, as everything kind of settles itself in for the laning phase as such, and the Mountain Drake is the first one, but Tien is towards this bot side, and there are no wards whatsoever here for the side of Ultra Prime. They will have no idea, and xiaoC not really in a position to save Smlz unless he flashes away. So 2 summers might be used. Here we go. There's going to be the flash in, flash away. Smlz, great 3-man flay though. Keeps everyone alive, and maybe they can turn this one around as the TPs are coming in.
Both
it's going to be a
TPs.
TP either side. Both TPs come in. ZS needs to bounce himself away. The Q right between the sticks. 3 points there for Doinb's Lee Sin as he did not get any more purchase. And while that is happening, everything gets pushed in, everyone gets pushed down towards this bot side, and it is going to be more of a pressure. It's still 5 men here. Nuguri still has flash and has ultimate. They are going to jump straight onto xiaoC. Smlz, one more Q would do him in, but he's not going to die. They will get plates, they will get a kill, they will get everything they want, and they have themselves a 1,000 gold lead.
So what ended up happening was Ultra Prime thought they were fine after TPs came out and ZS was able to jump away. So Hacker actually showed on top lane to push that in to try to make it so FPX at least lost something, right? We're going to deny Nuguri the wave in top lane. And once they saw that, xiaocaobao might go down.
Nicely done there. Will he get out in time? The Realm Warp just a second too slow. 0-2 for xiaocaobao in this mid lane, and Doinb the flash, Lee Sin, dragon kick, setting it up beautifully, just so nicely done.
Man, when you give Doinb champions that have ways to find engages, right? The Sett in game 1, now the Lee Sin, it just looks so clean. But we need to pause. Actually, a lane swap coming out for the side of Ultra Prime. To me, honestly, what this signals, right, because Dragon's still up, is like, hey, we're going to dodge the Kennen and... actually, you're dodging 2 bad lane matchups, right? You're dodging the Kennen and Gnar matchup, and you're also dodging a 2v2 lane where you're going to get constantly pushed in. That was one of the reasons why you would typically see lane swaps come out, is like, hey, enemy has 1 or 2 winning matchups that are very important. We're going to avoid both of them, and we see that going into this game. It doesn't matter. It seems like they don't care too much if FPX are the team that are able to pick up that first dragon. They're just prioritizing getting gold onto Aphelios and making sure he doesn't lose out.
Yeah, and honestly, you know, we talked about how great laning phases Ultra Prime and Smlz in particular was having. He's now down in CS. Like, he's not in a position to be able to make this one work, but Hacker does find Doinb. He's able to safeguard back to Tien. The hook grazing past his butt cheeks as the wind flew past him, but that means ZHao goes for it, which means that you can't go for this play. I honestly feel like the play was from, like you mentioned, from Ultra Prime. Give up the dragon, go for the ZHao, get gold onto Aphelios, but FPX is saying, no, that's not how we're going to let this one go down. We're going to give resources and gold to ZS, who's on the Gnar, and we're not going to let this Aphelios get going.
Yeah, sadly, again, dodge out on the matchup, take Rift Herald, not able to do both. We are going to see FPX take that one, so I want to see where they do decide to use this gold. You would kind of expect it to potentially go onto the Ezreal. That is the only place they've already gotten a plate down, and I think Lwx is on a champion that is positioned to be the carry of this game. And for up, they're just going to keep the matchups as they are, because sure, the Rift Herald would have been nice, but again, it's about dodging 2 unfavorable lane matchups and looking to get more gold and more turret plates onto Smlz.
Doing really nicely of kind of equalizing out the gold that they had previous loss. That Church Shot Barrage did literally nothing. As they keep pushing in now, this could be honestly just the tower straight away. xiaoC does not have flash. Nuguri just has to keep himself at arm's length, and this is a lot of gold going over to the side of Ultra Prime, but is going to be answered now onto that bot side with the Rift Herald into Lwx's pockets.
That's the thing, right, is there is really going to be no excuse for Lwx coming into this game. He's getting resources. He got a strong support matchup in the Karma coming out. They had that early dive / zone the enemy off turret, so everything is being put into Lwx. Tien also has those kills. Sure, he is a bit behind in farm, but I wouldn't be surprised if in terms of gold, he is slightly ahead as well. So Tien and Lwx are who we are looking at right now.
Oh, Nuguri, no flash on him. He gets flayed. The flash over though by Hacker, and there's the slicing Maelstrom. They are not under tower just yet. There is the Moonlight Vigil. It will pick up a kill. Crisp able to trade it back, but importantly for the side of Ultra Prime, they are the ones to get a kill onto Smlz, but they're not quite done just yet. You see Crisp maybe going for something here, seeing if he can get more damage down. That is still an Aphelios. Karma, though, very, very powerful in this early game. And actually see Doinb was roaming up on that minimap, but was stopped there by the Rise. But now there is the safeguard into the kick. xiaocaobao trying to get himself out, but he can't. Tien flashes forward, gets the kill. And that is another fantastic move here from the mid laner and jungler of FPX.
2 games in the same series where mobility has to be setting up these plays. We're going to see trading. I don't think Crisp can kill him. xiaoC is going to get away just fine. But going back to that top lane play earlier, does Lwx hit it?
Oh, he had to flash. That's a good flash.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have been able to kill him there. But yeah, honestly, Doinb on this playmaker being that, a playmaker.
And it's just so nice, right? We're seeing Tien really utilize the strength of the equalizer as well, to where it's like, hey, I can even just start this off third on the damage, coordinated as Doinb's going in. The slow comes out, the damage comes out. We're going to see here lands the shot, the Sonic Wave. And actually, Tien didn't even need to drop the equalizer early this time around like he did in game 1, because Doinb just found the Sonic Wave from what looked like xiaocaobao trying to hover towards top side, support his team for the play up there, maybe get some vision, and another punish coming out. Not having a good time in against FPX. We're seeing a team that plays heavily with mid jungle. Ultra Prime have not really been a team that have done that at all. We've seen xiaocaobao be a laner that tries to hover for his jungler, but not the opposite way around, right? We haven't seen Hacker make his way towards the mid lane in any of these games.
No, Smlz a little bit of trouble. Does push up the wave, wants to get this tower down, get that extra little bit of gold, but I don't think he's going to be able to get it. Just about stays alive, and you can see FPX, they just want to deny that, because that is about 500 gold in terms of the plate and the turret going down as well. The local gold that you are just denying. It would put him from 4,400 to pretty much 5,000 in that regard. So Nuguri needs to be a little bit careful. ZS is 20, 30 CS ahead of him, but there is the Realm Warp. But now Nuguri with the Slicing Maelstrom and Flash available. Does he go for the fight? He does. He flashes back in on top of the Rise, and he's not quite able to survive. Almost turns it around. This time around, it is still a 1-for-none trade.
That's the thing, right? That was a scenario where he was probably dead in 99.9% of scenarios where Ultra Prime play it correctly. And he gets him!
Lwx, that was sick!
Doinb's laugh. Oh my god, that was amazing from Lwx. You know, been a bit of a rough series, but for plays like that, as Munchables would say, we take those.
Oh my god, what? Oh, this level of 5-head is just too much for me. I can't even... How do you get the timings and it's blind and you're just assuming? Oh my lord, it's too much for me. But what a prediction. And that just kind of sours a very good proactive play there from the side of Ultra Prime. And they would have been feeling pretty good after taking down Nuguri, keeping him down 0-2 on this Kennen, still yet to finish his mythic. And just, you know, I can't even. Let's have a look at the replay. Lwx, he doesn't even hesitate. He just goes for it because he knows. And the angle on it and everything.
I think he's recalling on a ward. I want to see when he gets back to base.
No,
he wasn't.
Not. He's pure blind. They pure blind the way they get one. Now ZS going to find Doinb. Gets the TP in. Doinb in a little bit of trouble. We'll have to safeguard away. Does get away just about.
I do want to say, if he was recalling on a ward, I think that'd be more impressive that he timed that perfectly with, you know, the recall timing. But still super sick, still awesome. That just would have been like the play he did was like 5-head. That would have been, you know, like 10,000 IQ.
That's like, you know, the brain meme where he's like, his brain turns into another person and he's playing chess against himself. That's that level. But Lwx finally coming alive in this series, in this game, really finally looking like the carry that we know and love. Someone who was able to kind of go toe-to-toe with people. And speaking of going toe-to-toe, Ultra Prime might be in a little bit of trouble. Smlz and xiaoC. Nuguri just picks up a free kill. Nothing they can really do about it. They were looking for Smlz, but they'll take the Constellation Prize to support anyway. But ZS is on the backside, has got Gnar very, very soon. Now we know he's there. Doinb looking like he wants to go for something, but it's so difficult to do this 3v5. You have to wait until your Rise is there for the consistent damage. So it looks like it's going to give up 2 towers.
And I feel like a big thing is right now FPX's comp is definitely stronger than what Up have put together. You have Divine Sunder out on Ezreal. This is something we've seen a ton of. An absolute menace in pro play and solo queue, just extremely strong. We know Tien has been the one doing a lot of the heavy lifting on the side of FPX, so he's accelerated to where Smlz still doesn't even have his first item completed. xiaocaobao is also been put behind from the amount of times he's been focused down by the side of FPX, and we haven't hit on that. You know, in straight up 5v5, I don't really feel like this comp comes online until a similar point as last game. It's like, hey, Aphelios 3 items for the fact that Ryze has always been known for more of a side laner than a team fighter as well, because you are like a mid-range control mage, much better in those isolated 1v1s, as I'm going to slow down. FPX potentially looking for the engage.
And they're looking for Hacker. There is going to be a Realm Warp to maybe get him out. Oh, nicely done there. Gets him out, gets the flash over. They get the Rift Herald. It was a little dicey, but they do get what they came for. And a bot lane turret, so double objectives there for the side of Ultra Prime. And they keep the gold lead within 3,500, so not the worst in the world, but like you said, a long, long way away from those 4 items of Aphelios and Ryze kind of, team fights.
And, you know, this was the point of pressure that we talked about for Ultra Prime and Draft, is like, hey, you have these 2 side laners that, are very strong, very competent, try to be able to pull FPX around a little bit, especially with the fact that they have set Nuguri behind, and ZS is up so much farm, and it's like, sure, xiaocaobao might have been giving over a lot of kills, but he's still also been keeping up in farm. He's actually taking Krugs right now and staying relevant. So they're still trying to find ways to win, despite the fact that they are behind 3K, and I don't realistically think they're going to be at a point to challenge in 5v5s anytime soon. For Up, it's going to be about finding those picks, finding those small windows where you can stay even in gold at very least.
See where they want to kind of take this one here. It's kind of been a slow little moment here. We'll say, again, ZS has had, again, we haven't really had a lot of time to talk about him in depth, but honestly, he has had a fantastic time in this series, and regardless of result, I do think we need to give props to him. In particular, he has been a very good enabler to his team, has gone toe-to-toe with Nuguri and, able to set himself up. xiaoC, though, might be in a little bit of trouble. No Flay available to him as the Sonic Wave does land. And again, ZS, I feel like if he can get a good Gnar ult, like we can't discount that either as, a big kind of team fighting ultimate, but it's going to be so difficult with, the amount of damage they're able to put out so quickly on the side of FPX.
And at the same time, right, you have Ezreal with mobility, Lee Sin with mobility, you have Karma, Mantra E that can be put on everyone, so it's who are you going to be getting on top of? You're going to be getting on top of Tien, Nuguri, especially if Tien's already in a position where he's popped Equalizer, or Nuguri with Slicing Maelstrom. It's like, their jobs are pretty much done, and then this Ezreal will still be in position to kite around your engage, dish damage out in team fights. So I think ZS getting a massive Gnar ultimate. Oh, okay, he's 1v1ing Ezreal.
Hello. See what goes on here. Lwx forced to use the heal. ZS now trying to get away from this one. Flashes away from the Sonic Wave. Oh. Right, that was a thing that happened, and we'll leave it at that. ZS, I just praised you. How dare you?
Yeah, I mean, I just find it, like, the way Lee Sin can traverse distance now with, the safeguard into the stride breakers. Pretty funny animation to watch. Sad he wasn't able to land the Sonic Wave, but yeah, ZS going for the 1v1. I wasn't very confident he'd be able to win it, and Ezreal has
turns out he wasn't either once the Lee Sin came.
But still, FPX going to be putting a ton of pressure onto the side of Up. They're just trying to keep their red buff right now. I don't think they can look for a fight, especially with LWX on his way as well.
Oh,
Tien does an Equalizer.
A lot of trouble. There's Equalizer. Smlz flashes away, but they do get Doinb on top of him, and Doinb's able to take that kill, make it 2, as he knocks back at the Ryze and says, no, where the hell do you think you're going? And actually, he's going back to base with some HP. Does he get him again? No. Woo. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. xiaocaobao gets himself out and free. Nuguri was in this bot side, didn't even TP with the Slicing Maelstrom. They do drop the Rift Herald, though, a little bit prematurely. It was timing out. You can see Hacker now chasing down the top laner of FPX, but there's just not really a chance of him finding him. Still trying to see if he can get him going here. Not going to get any purchase. Nuguri gets himself out, and yeah, this is FPX, 5,000 gold ahead, 2 dragons on the board, and this is just them looking comfortable.
And I mean, this was just Up trying to, you know, make sure the enemy doesn't take away their red buff. I'm not quite sure why they're looking for this. Hackers on the opposite side of the map. We've already highlighted how they don't win fights right now at all. FPX are just so far ahead in terms of not only like gold and the items they have, but how strong their champions are, like with the items that they have compared to Up's champions. So we're coming back onto the map and we're already getting more action.
We're going back straight into it. We can see Doinb being locked up there. The Everfrost has been finished up there by the Rise. Hacker is still kind of moving forward. Nuguri still has a Slicing Maelstrom, good to know, but the Dragon's Rage has been used. Doinb does not have that available to him, and Crisp has just been straight up caught out. Nothing he can do about that. And that's a good little pick there from Ultra Prime. There's, you know, the Dragon is up. They could maybe, you know, look to try and go for that one, but they have waves to clear, and they're just trying to get gold back in their pockets.
And that's what the name of the game for them is, right? As Ultra Prime right now, you are not looking for advantages. You are looking to stabilize, you are looking to minimize bleeding, and then you are looking to punish mistakes when FPX overextends or someone walks out. You're pretty much looking to buy time right now. For Ultra Prime, time is the resource that you need to get to a point where you can try to be relevant. The problem there is the fact that, again, FPX made draft adaptations coming into this game where it's not a comp that just needs to run head first into a strong Aphelios, and they also changed around the side of the map they played around. They said, hey, Nuguri, you can take the weak side, you can take the punishment, still played exceptionally. We're going to set Smlz behind.
Ooh, Tien has to flash away, but he drops the equalizer as well. The Moonlight Visual will be picked up, and that's a shutdown going over to Smlz. He might be able to go back and pick up his second item, and this is a big kind of turning point right now. FPX resting on the laurels, and Ultra Prime, they're being proactive. They're the ones finding the picks.
That's the thing, right? In that they're doing exactly what we just said of, like, punishing enemy mistakes, because you look at the minimap in these scenarios, and FPX are very disconnected. As Ultra Prime, you see Nuguri showing on top wave, you see Doinb showing on bot wave, and you see Karma Ezreal mid. So you know where every member is, you know you're in no threat of anyone collapsing by picking off Tien in that situation. So Tien going for solo vision and ends up getting punished for the play.
We'll see now what the side of Ultra Prime want to be doing with this small little moment of not having the enemy jungler on the field. Looks like it's just going to be, again, getting gold into the pockets, like you mentioned, just kind of keeping themselves lined as best they can. Get a couple of resets in now. You do have 2 items onto your Aphelios, 2 items onto your Rise, so they are getting to a good and decent point. Excuse me, as we wait to see now what the next play is. It could be another force onto the Baron, as we saw FPX do in Game 1, if they're feeling confident.
And we know FPX, they're always confident. There's some teams in the LPL that, like, when the map state has really nothing to look for, they're going to go for it. But ZS is about to turn Mega.
Mega coming in. There's a TP on the backside as well. You can see Doinb. He's got the Dragon's Rage. He's going to try and keep this Hacker man out. Is it going to try and jump into this one? Good. Gnar ult, though, separates the rest of the team. Hacker trying to jump in on top of this, but the Slicing Maelstrom is right on top of the key carry, and that is Smlz dead to right. xiaoC not long for this world. They will kill off Lwx on the backside. The Rise picks himself up a kill, but it's 1 for 2, and that is a nice realm up to get him out. Very, very close, but right back to the objective. FPX go.
Yeah, Lwx did go down, but still you picked off the key member of Ultra Prime. A lot of ultimates went down for them as well. Udyr can try and come look for a steal, but actually FPX don't do this Baron all that quickly.
No, they don't. And the Hacker is still there, but he will get stunned up, rooted down, and it looks like they're just going to try and go for the pick onto him. Now there's no enemy jungler, but you got to be careful of Machine Gun Rise. He'll be dropping those Qs faster than you can even realize. ZS will have his ultimate available as well if he goes into Mega. And there's a lot of low health bars here. They have to be so careful. FPX, I feel like they've overstayed their welcome. Yes, they get a couple of kills, but they do not get the objective. And now the health bars definitely feel in favor of Up.
I also just want to highlight the fact that Hacker went for Warmogs. And this is an item we've been seeing a little bit more of since it got buffed, where the Warmog's heart threshold isn't 3,000 anymore. You only need 1,100 max HP before you can get that insane regen. But I would have loved to see Force of Nature come out from him with all the AP coming out from FPX. But here we go into the replay. xiaocaobao kind of starting it off. And they try to turn immediately. ZS doing a pretty decent job of buying time, but Nuguri is the man to watch. Sat safely on the flank, waited for the members of Up to show themselves. Slicing Maelstrom comes out. Doesn't even really matter about the equalizer all too much in the situation. The key member's been killed and the job's been done, even if Lwx goes down on the backside of that fight to Rise.
Well, they're back onto it. There's a replay ending and a Baron starting as we jump back onto this fight. Now, Baron down to 6,000 HP. Do you look for this fight? Do you look to go for it? No flash from Nuguri, who does not have a flash slicing Maelstrom this time round. Hacker is around, has flash to get over the wall. Remember, 900 smite each, but ZS is dead. That's your engage gone. Hacker trying to see if he can do something. Doinb jumping in, jumping back out. It's going to go down to about 2,000 HP, but now you can see xiaoC in a lot of trouble. FPX are just baiting. They didn't want the Baron at all. They just wanted the fight, and they still want the fight. The flash is not good enough from Hacker. Hacker will fall. 3 kills and a Baron. FPX 30 seconds until the Cloud Soul.
And this is just going to turn into massive map control for the side of FPX. They're going to push in waves. They should be able to get down vision. The next dragon is definitely theirs as Rise. It's going to go to the other side. I think Nuguri's 100% dead here, but I might be wrong.
No, I've been wrong before too, so don't worry about it. It happens, you know. It's his thing. He survives a little bit because he's a Kennen.
I was going to say, also, you know, betting against Nuguri is probably never the play.
Oh, and there is the Sonic Wave into Nuguri picking up the kill. And that's as best of a play-by-play as I could do for that particular one.
You know, it's sad because we've seen... Oh, wait. Is Tahm going to die here?
No, Tien might, but he got himself a Cloud Soul. Nope, never mind, he has a flash over the wall. Actually, no, he doesn't have it just yet. He's still waiting for that one to come off of cooldown. Has enough time, though, to save it, and this might be Lwx coming in. Hacker finds him, and this is going to be a bit of a spread-out fight as Smlz, but Lwx is just too big. Lwx is doing what Smlz did in the second game, and this is all FPX all the time. They're going to be able to pick up the Soul. They're going to be able to pick up the delayed Ace. They're going to be able to pick up this win and this series.
Yeah, you know, nice bounce back from them in this game 3. You know, ZS is going to die on her screen, but we can just talk about the fact that, hey, right, I think Up coming out looking pretty decent in this series overall. This game kind of faced the shellacking, but overall, FPX made adaptations. They were a strong team in finals. And yeah, just overall nice to see them still going strong moving forward, but maybe we got a bit ahead of ourselves.
I gotta do the Benny Hill music. No, never mind, he said. As soon as I did the meme, he died. But that is going to be the second win in this series for FPX, which does cement then their second series win in summer 2021. It took them a while. There was definitely some rough edges, but they were able to get themselves the win, and that's all that matters. They stay undefeated in match score, and they go back to the top of the table.
And, you know, I think the 2 key players to highlight in this one are definitely mid-jungle coming out from FPX. Tien and Doinb, seeing how they're playing, being conscious of the fact of how FPX want to play into them. I think in this series in Game 3, they got too tunnel vision on, like, hey, you know, Thresh and Aphelios, which I don't blame them, right? When we saw the Thresh, we were like, cool, xiaoC going back onto his main champion, but then FPX just drafted around what you just did. You ran back a very similar comp, but I would even say slightly worse because you kind of had to index more into side lanes with the fact that FPX would just be able to out 5v5 you. And then, yeah, they kind of punished the fact that you all-in on one aspect of what you just won on, and it allowed FPX to adapt their draft. And then, I mean, they just came out swinging in that game with a great plan, shutting down Smlz down early on.
Yeah, it really was just kind of a good execution there from FPX, and getting the Lee Sin, which was obviously banned in the first 2 games, showed why it was getting banned. The playmaking opportunities you're able to get with that, it doesn't matter if it doesn't scale exceptionally well into the late game. You're just able to do so much with that champion, and honestly, a great kind of end to it as well for Lwx. I mentioned how in the first 2 games he really didn't look like he showed up, and for the 3rd game he definitely did with that prediction. And you know, I get another clip of me shouting nothing and into the void as a caster reel.
Yeah, that play from Lwx was nice. I still think going forward, we definitely need to see more from him than we saw in this series so far, because right now it's giving me very, I'd say, like IG vibes, where it's like, I don't want to think of FPX as a team where their win condition is like, hey, your AD carry needs to be stable and your other 4 members are going to pick up the slack. Lwx is someone who's shown us many times that, you know, he's able to have great games. This was definitely a solid performance coming out from him. But again, to me, I feel like the MVP has to be Doinb or Tien. Both of them performing exceptionally well. And the fact that Nuguri just kind of survived that onslaught of pressure that he got was pretty amazing as well.
Yeah, it really, really was. And
look at that damage on it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the damage is kind of nutty, and again, like it's a very, very good start. And despite Nuguri being kept down, obviously in this series, kept down in this game more specifically, he was still able to pop off absolutely on this Kennen. And I feel like for Ultra Prime, if their game plan is to protect SMLZ, is to build comps around Jinxes, Aphelioses, those kind of hyper carries, they need to be able to kind of, just kind of clean up those little parts of the game. Like it did feel like once SMLZ got put behind, there was no extra plan there for the side of Ultra Prime.
I feel like one thing we're going to need to see from them is just giving xiaocaobao more time to incorporate to the LPL. And no surprise, the MVP goes to Mr. Doinb himself. He also looked like he was having a great time that game, smiling and laughing constantly at the plays. Amazing playmaking from him, I think very well deserved. And he's a player now who I think, especially for Western fans, he's had this reputation of, being like a bad mid laner or a subpar laner since 2019. But I definitely think Doinb as a player has improved kind of year on year. I think 2020, he was the best player on FPX by a mile. And, once again, he has pieces around him that are strong now, but he himself is still a very strong performer.
Yeah, honestly, it feels like it's kind of, not only does he have the dark technologies, not only does he have the kind of, the backing of his team, but his mechanical play has just been kind of, pushing further and further on. And to talk about